Did you know that over 284 million people live outside their home countries? And of those, nearly 256 million, about 4.3% of the global workforce, are of working age. People today are more open than ever to pursuing job opportunities abroad. A recent LinkedIn survey found that 46% of workers would relocate for better career prospects. This willingness to move is good news for employers. Why? Because labor shortages are set to become one of the biggest economic challenges of 2025. According to the 2025 Talent Shortage Survey by Manpower Group, 74% of businesses are struggling to fill roles. The problem isn't just a lack of workers, it's a skills gap. Many employers can't find people with the right qualifications for the job. Yet, even as companies face this urgent workforce challenge, governments are tightening migration policies. A Deloitte study found that nearly half of businesses, 46%, see regulatory barriers as the biggest roadblock to hiring international talent. So, what's the solution? How can we open up legal migration pathways for employment? That's where the Global Forum on Migration and Development comes in. It's working to create solutions that benefit everyone, governments, businesses, and migrants alike. And the benefits of migration? They're clear. Studies show that a 1% increase in a country's migrant population can boost GDP per person by up to 2% in advanced economies. In fact, improving labor mobility could generate economic gains several times greater than full trade liberalization, according to the World Bank. Migration also fuels entrepreneurship. In 2022, 13.8% of the foreign-born workforce in 37 OECD countries were self-employed. Aligning migration policies with labor market needs could boost global GDP by up to 147.3%. The private sector understands the value. A Boston Consulting Group survey found that 72% of executives believe migration benefits their economies, and 45% see diverse talent as a competitive advantage. Together, the business community is working to change the public narrative on migration. Companies believe that by fostering legal pathways and inclusive migration policies, we can drive economic prosperity, productivity, innovation, and sustainable development for all.